evening. It is Wednesday, March 13th, Board of Assessment Appeals deliberation meeting. It is 5, 8, 9, 15, 16. Let's say 5:18. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Kyle, hear it.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Alrighty. All members are present, so we won't bother with attendance. Okay. Where's my phone? First on the list. Tonight we'll be doing the one motor vehicle appeal and the personal property appeals.
I don't know if everybody has the numbers, I put them on the agenda, but if you want to write them down, if that's helpful, or we'll just...
I'll write them down.
Go.
We can read them as we go, whatever, it doesn't matter.
Okay, so number 2 is the motor vehicle, if you want to do
Want to
that
start with
first.
that one? Okay.
In the same...
All right, number 2. You can call it out, Kathleen.
Appeal number 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the 2003 Corvette?
Yep. So this is appeal number 2. The owner, it's a vehicle. The owner is Christopher Sheehan, property address 73 Wheeler Park Avenue. And it is a 2003 Corvette. Is that right?
Yes.
Original condition, 11,000 miles. So he was asking to get the $500, whatever the exemption was.
Right, for a classic car.
Classic car. Right.
Okay.
Or not exemption, what do you call it? Classic car
Designation or,
designation?
what do you call it?
What's the official term?
Probably
Classification?
Probably classification, kind of like a farm,
Yeah.
because it's not really an exemption.
They want antique classification. Okay. All right. So we saw the pictures of the car. It was lovely. Looks like it was in original condition. You want to roll those, Russ? Roll it. There we go.
Oh, yeah, the one
Beautiful car.
bought it for his wife.
Yeah, he bought it for his wife, yeah. So, I don't see an issue with it except that, there was a question that was brought to you. What is he actually appealing? 2022, 2023, what?
I believe he's appealing the 2022 supplemental bill.
Okay. He said it was a supplemental bill. So if that was the one, if that was the only one,
So he was granted the classification for the 2023 grand list,
okay.
and you can see that on the screen. This is that's 22. This one's 23, right there,
Yep.
and he's assessed at 500.
Okay.
So he's asking for the 22 bill.
Oh,
And I think he had come in, but we denied him because the car was not 20 years old. And that's,
In October of 2022.
right,
it was not, okay.
because this would be as of October 1, 2022.
Okay. All right, so then he really doesn't qualify for that classification until 2023.
Right, that's why he didn't,
Okay.
we can give it to him in 22,
Okay.
he did in
So,
23.
all right. So, we need any more discussion on this?
No, I mean, I think we'd make a motion in the affirmative to grant him the classification, and then we would just all vote no. Does that sound right?
How about if we just say we're gonna deny it and we vote yes?
I don't know, we've been told by the town attorney you can't do that, you can't use...
Why? I thought it was a Robert's
I guess.
rules, I thought it was Robert's rules thing,
No,
not an
it has,
attorney thing.
no, it's something other reason, if you don't,
Yes.
if you vote no, whatever.
Well, we'll do it your way.
I'll
There
make-
was a lot of discussion about that during the reval hearings, and it was, I forget who it was, might have been Baldwin that said, you can't make a negative motion.
But did he
Make
give
your
us,
motion in the affirmative and then
Right, you
deny.
always have to make an affirmative motion. You can't make a
Motion to deny.
motion to deny, you make a motion to approve it, and then you vote against it.
yeah, but, I mean, that's the way it is, but it makes no sense to me. I don't want to approve this, so why am I saying, all in favor, no, we vote no? It makes no sense. And it's that's Robert's, if you read Robert's rules, that's where it comes from. It's not a legal thing, it's a Robert's rules thing,
That's
that
what
was his
that's the.
which we don't use, but he's not the attorney anymore.
We always used him, into who wants to make a motion to what?
Well, for this one, I don't care, we'll just leave it, make it in the affirmative.
I'm just,
I know, I appreciate the
what
information.
the advice was during the reval, because I remember it changed midway through.
Yeah, we did. It made it a lot easier, but
Yeah.
Well, it's,
then you gotta hear it again if you all deny it, whatever.
Because you call technically you're supposed to call a motion before you have a discussion. So you can't call a motion to deny, you'd call a motion to, approve this applicant's
Oh,
request.
okay,
Have your discussion, and then you take a vote.
okay.
You know,
We usually
in
don't
reality, a
do it
lot of
that
times
way.
the discussion happens, then there's a motion and a vote.
Okay, so that makes sense.
But technically, that motion's supposed to happen before you have a discussion.
You're moving it to the table is really what
Right.
you're
Well,
doing.
we don't-
That makes sense.
Okay, we don't do any of that, but that's okay. We don't believe in any of that, but because of the way, I understand it, we don't follow that. But we'll do the motions the way they want us to do it.
Yeah, so I'll make the motion
I'm not gonna go through all that other stuff.
to, grant him the classification. And then you can call for the vote if you want.
Okay, all in favor? Opposed? It's unanimous. Motion fails.
Right, okay.
Okay, so that's that one. Okay, what's next?
The next one is appeal number 4, which was, let's see. Appeal number 4, another personal property. The appellant was Antoine Pindris, 128 Pemberton Drive. And again, Ross, if you can help with the amounts for this, the town value was $2,500. I don't know if that was assessed or appraised and included a penalty, or it didn't.
Could we make that
And his requested value was
What's that?
$200.
I don't know, let me see. I'll ask.
This person they did not file.
Right.
Would you mind enlarging the 51 up to like 100 or something, like, yeah, right there. 51%, make it just a little bigger. Yeah, thank you.
Perfect.
Sorry.
I gotta can see that from outside. Well, I remember this one. Oh, I remember this one.
Yeah, he lives in Black Rock, and, he gets things delivered to his parents' house on Pemberton. But he did have his last delivery in December, so he is in business. And, or he was as of October 1st, 2023.
This
Yeah,
is the deck.
So I have a
that we
question,
filed, I believe.
but we'll go through it.
Did he make any,
That's his late deck, I think.
This is his late deck, yeah.
Right.
I have a question.
There's-
But I was just trying to figure out what,
Over there. He doesn't do.
so he was billed $2,500 plus a penalty, is that right?
Right.
Okay, so what would that be in assessed dollars? The $2,500 is assessed, and the penalty is $500 is assessed? I just,
should we,
throughout all these
Down
conversations, I
this
just wanna make sure we're apples to apples.
This account's been around a while.
The address is
Oh, no,
here
this is Pindar.
in Fairfield? Is that?
Pemberton, it's just spelled wrong.
if you open your business here, I don't think it does it matter where you live? It's where you're
Where your
operating.
business is. Mhm.
So where is, that's what I'm confused about. Where is he operating from?
He must have business registered at his parents' house.
It's registered.
So he was assessed for $2,000, and the penalty is $500,
Okay.
25%.
So he's assessed for $2,000, okay, plus a $500 assessed penalty, okay.
So
But didn't that default to that because he didn't file?
I think you can act on the assessment
But not on the penalty.
and
So the
just,
penalty's gonna get reduced.
if you're gonna reduce the assessment from 2,000 to something, reduce it from 2,000, not 2,500.
Okay.
And then the penalty just stays.
Okay,
But the penalty will be a percentage of the,
Always
Still have it
25%.
registered.
okay.
I don't know.
So,
I think like Carol
I mean,
said, why
that
don't
would be
we
the
just
smart thing
stop
to
the
do.
re-
The smart thing would be
Why
to-
is he registered
I don't know.
here? If
Maybe,
it's not-
maybe it has to do with, I don't know. He shouldn't have it registered here. He could still have, if he doesn't have his business registered here, he could still have his stuff delivered to his parents' house. And it won't matter, right? Because
The
he's,
stuff is taxable where it's located.
yeah, I'd rather have it taxable. Oh,
He could have a business registered in Delaware, but if he's operating in Fairfield, it's taxable to Fairfield.
but all he's doing is having it delivered and then he takes it to where he lives. Let's say, I'm not sure, but let's say for some reason he lives in an area where he doesn't want deliveries made when he's not home, okay? So he has it delivered to his parents' house and then he goes and gets it and does his business from
Well,
Bridgeport.
all right, so help me understand, what is his business?
I don't know,
We
he
never
buys
got-
and sells
we
things.
never-
he buys things on eBay.
And then
Never
resells them to
found
the
out
customer.
what the content
It's
of
not the product that we're valuing, it's the equipment he uses to perform that business. So, and the 2,000 comes from, if you're operating a business out of your house, you've probably got a desk, a chair, and a computer at bare minimum.
Okay, I'm just asking.
No, but that's what I'm saying,
Okay.
it's not the packages,
It's the, yeah.
it's the computer, the desk, the chairs.
So I wonder why,
But I mean, he made it sound like it was only the address he was using, and
Yeah.
it doesn't have anything.
right, doesn't have anything
No
there.
desk, no nothing.
He moved.
He moved. We don't, when did he say when he moved?
operating in his parents' house.
Yeah, but did he say when he moved? I don't know when he moved.
Right around that time, I think.
So
I don't remember.
his
Actually,
fault for not changing the address
Mhm.
of the
Yeah.
business,
Yeah.
really.
actually, he's probably, and I could be wrong about this, I'm just guessing, that if he registers that business in Bridgeport, it's gonna cost him more in taxes.
Could be.
Higher
Because I'm
mill
sure
rate,
they're-
same computer.
What?
Higher mill rate, same computer.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, that's probably more, so
Right.
he's probably smarter to keep it here, he just didn't file it in time. And that's okay, so he didn't file it, so what do we, so now he files it, he gets his penalty, and what is he saying is actually worth?
600.
240
Oh,
is what he said. I think
That's the
that he
whole thing?
valued his laptop, right, Ross? That's what he's got?
Yeah.
So
240
the way
appraised.
The way the deck works is, I'm getting down there, so here he filed under EDP, electronic data processing equipment, that he purchased in 2020, a laptop or a computer for 600.
Mhm.
So we depreciate that at 40%, and that's how we get to the 240.
Okay,
So he's gonna be assessed on 70% of that 240.
Right.
Which is what, 168? Did I do my math right?
here's $3, let's finish.
Yeah, well,
off.
he's not gonna get a bill anyway, it's less than $10. His bill, tax bill's gonna be less than
Okay.
$10. I just wanna make sure I have the math right. So that's
161.
161, 160 would be his bill, so
Would be his
So-
assessment.
his
Plus the
assessment.
penalty.
So we should make the motion to,
So he gets the penalty,
plus the penalty of 25%, which is gonna be $40, so he's, right?
Yeah, you just
25%.
wanna deal with assessment and say
I
plus
do.
penalty.
Okay,
Yes.
let's do that.
yes.
160,
that.
so I'll make a motion to grant this appeal. I don't even know what he asked for. He asked for 240,
He
right?
asked for 240, right?
Yeah, probably without the penalty.
So now, wait a minute, though, he's asking for 240, and we're
He
saying,
probably asked for 240 appraised,
Well,
right?
the 240 is the number, is the depreciated value. So you
Right,
have
but
three,
that's
you have three
what
numbers
the
in
appraised
a personal
number
property.
Out the tax.
You have the original purchase price, the depreciated value, and the assessment.
okay. So how do you want us to,
It's not a grant in part, I mean, I think we're just granting it, right?
It's a grant in part. We can't by law take away the penalty because he filed too late,
Right.
but we can
So we'll grant it to an assessed value of 160 plus the penalty.
okay, that's fine.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
my
Make that, that's your motion, okay, all in favor? Unanimous. Next,
All right, I'm the secretary too, so give me a minute.
No, take your time.
Were you able to access the file?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I've been looking at this,
Yeah, me too.
Okay, so the next one is, these are similar, appeals number 7 and 8. This is Bridgeport Hospital. Somebody touch it?
I didn't touch a thing.
That's the first time I heard that today, so.
Still going, still recording?
Good, Peter.
How do we know? I think if you do like, pressing *9 will,
Depressing.
Yeah.
okay, sounds like we're still recording, right? Okay,
Three.
so this is appeal number 7. I mean, I don't know, do you want to take them together? You want to take them separate?
Let's take them separate.
Okay, so appeal number 7, Bridgeport Hospital is owner, the property address is 309 Stilson Road. And I don't have the name of the appellant on the merge sheet, but you probably have it up, Ross, if you bring up number 7.
Bridgeport Hospital, yeah.
Yeah, the woman who was here, I don't have her name on my sheet, but,
So I'll just chime in on 7 and 8, you know, we would agree to make them exempt.
Why?
We would recommend that. Because they were previously exempted
Oh.
medical facilities purchased by a hospital.
But they're off-site, right? They're off the campus,
They're off campus, but they were previously exempted.
okay?
So-
But were they previously exempted for the wrong reason? Because they're saying it's what are they saying? It's the unit or it's the equipment? What are they arguing about? The equipment, right?
Well,
It's a
it's all
leasehold,
equipment.
I think, is
It's all equipment, but that equipment is not scientific equipment, it's medical equipment. The statute says scientific equipment.
But hospitals are exempt.
Hospital, the campus.
No,
This
no.
is a,
Right, but hospitals are exempt, and
how unfortunate.
I thought you said that the law said that whenever the law was passed in 15 or 16, that if, they are on the campus of physically on the campus of the hospital, they can stay exempt. And if they had an exemption prior to the law being passed, they can keep their exemption. Their exemption doesn't go away, but anybody new, isn't that right? Can't get the exemption. So
I understand that.
they were exempt, and for whatever reason, it just fell off the tax bill
Right.
this year.
They were exempt, but were they exempt for the wrong reason? Should they? I guess my question is, should they have been exempt? Because,
prior to the statute being revised, different assessors, some assessors granted the exemption, some didn't.
Wow.
It was not consistent.
Hmm.
They changed the statute, and the goal of making the change, the original bill that was put forth, was going to say that they were taxable, period. To get the bill to pass, the compromise was if they were previously exempted, they would stay exempt. If it was a new, they were not. So when I got to Fairfield, they were previously exempted, so I
You had
left
no
those
choice.
exempt. Anything that was a new purchase that they bought or opened a new location, I made taxable. I did not grant the exemption.
okay. So I guess there's nothing more to discuss.
And somewhere I have all that.
Yeah, and she said that it was a quadrennial, they have to apply every 4 years for the exemption. This was only year 3 of the exemption, and they were granted it 3 years ago, so she just didn't know why it dropped off, and they're agreeing that
It shouldn't have dropped off.
it shouldn't have dropped.
But then again, because it was already previously, Russ, when that 4 years is up and they have to reapply, can you then make them tax it because it was originally non-taxable?
No,
Well, I'm happy for them. I mean, I know they have no money, poor thing, and they can't afford to pay us our taxes, so let's give it to them.
They're calling you, say thank you.
Oh, sorry. Hello, oh, thank you, yeah. Hello.
here's the public act if you're interested.
Um,
It's only 395 pages.
It's what?
Late reading.
395 pages. It's in there amongst,
Did we vote in to write that thing?
I thought I had it pulled out.
Wow.
Okay, I just want to say, I know there was some confusion during the hearings, and I remember she was saying she thought that the amounts were recorded on the wrong street, the wrong address for this property and that property, but, Michelle or somebody, or Ross, took a look at it, and,
That's a
or,
different,
oh,
that's a
Karen
different
looked at
account.
it. No, it was this one, this particular property, she thought it was, the amount was wrong, and it's because she was looking at the, pre-depreciated value, and the notice to her was for the assessed depreciated value. So that's why the monies were so off. She didn't think it was high enough.
Okay.
But that's what, and then they got a penalty, so there was a penalty mixed in, but it's all correct to make it short, the numbers are correct.
Yeah, it's exempt,
It's not gonna be,
Right,
forget
but,
it.
for anything should happen, whatever.
So do we
Yeah.
not vote on it, because you've already made the change, or?
no, you still have to,
For this
you
year.
have to bless it at this point.
Okay. So, go ahead, make your
You wanna
motion.
make
So
a
I'm sorry,
motion?
this is the statute, 1266A.
Yeah, that's it. So I was trying to get it on the fact that,
I can forward that to everybody if you
Yeah,
want.
forward it to, right to Paulette, because she seems interested to.
yeah, because because I'm looking for a way to weasel them into paying taxes, because everybody should, if I have to pay, they have to pay. But I guess in this case, they don't have to pay, so. But I still say that there's a difference between scientific equipment and medical equipment. They're saying they have medical equipment. So new stuff.
It's not that.
It's
you're-
not
you're
that.
No, I know that's, I know that's not it for this case. I'm just saying that there's somewhere, there's a statute about scientific equipment is one of the things that exempt, but not medical equipment. It's not listed, there's no medical equipment listed. So I'll be looking for those next time.
But they still have to file, and they still have to tell you what they have. Is that right? Or they don't even have to file?
That's
They are filing. put it that
exempt,
way.
it's never been determined if exempt organizations must file or not. I try to get the exempts to file because my feeling is we need to know what's exempt. if they lease equipment, the leased equipment is not exempt. If the town rents a copier, that copier used to be taxable. They've actually made cutout for municipalities, but, you know, if Operation Hope leases cars for their employees, those cars are taxable.
I go to work for them.
So you do want them to file them?
What's up with that? Where are they getting that?
So I don't want to belabor this, issue, but the, let's just say they, expand their footprint, you know, in the building that they're in already. Do they remain, exempt for that expansion?
Oh, that's a good one.
I would say if it was the existing office, I would give it to them. If they took the space next door and it was a new practice, no.
Okay.
I kind of go by if that's a new practice.
Yeah, okay.
And it gets even a little more complicated because Yale, the school, is statutorily exempt, separate from a hospital and separate from being a university. There's 6 of them: Yale, Wesleyan, Trinity, Conn College. They are
How'd they get
exempt, period.
Yeah, wow.
How do you think?
By their mere existence.
Like everything goes.
And we have now had, one of the medical practices go under the name of Yale University School of Medicine.
Never.
A bunch of scammers.
I've been dealing with this since 2016 and 15, and I am surprised they have not challenged us yet. But they have not, Yale or Bridgeport have not challenged any of the,
I'm waiting for the city name to be changed from New Haven to Yale, Connecticut. They own 90% of the city.
Who?
Yale, in New Haven. No, the hospital is? Any day, I'm expecting to see that in the paper, that we are now changing it, New Haven, Connecticut, to the name Yale, Connecticut.
All right, you making a motion?
I can make a motion to grant them is it an exemption, what's it called? Nonprofit exemption?
Just grant them, that they be exempted. But you should probably do each one separate.
Yes. All right, grant that they should be exempted. So that's my motion.
All in favor?
Reluctant.
4 in favor, opposed, 1. I don't care about the statutes.
Okay, so Paulette is opposed.
Yeah, I'm very opposed to giving them that.
Okay,
I know we have to, but I'm still opposed to it.
okay. Okay, and then the next one is number 8, very similar situation, except that this is, the property address is 425 Post Road, again, owned by Bridgeport Hospital, and their appeal is for the same reason. They want to be granted the exemption back that they had in the past. So I can make a motion to grant the exemption for that 425 Post Road location.
And this is appeal number 9?
Number 8, I believe.
Number 8. Okay.
Mhm.
Are you making that motion?
I made that motion, sorry, yeah.
All in favor? 4 to 1, opposed right here. Another place that,
Okay.
just, and they're owned by Yale anyway, so why don't they just say Yale?
Okay, the next one, Burnett Gray, was that the woman who was here?
Yeah.
To sign the
Oh, no, it's not the group, again, owned by Yale.
So, the next one is appeal number 9. This one's a little bit different. The owner of the business is Northeast Medical Group. The property address is 52 Beach Road. The town has it valued at, I guess, I'm not sure if that's assessed or appraised at $21,940. And I have they're requesting the same amount, but that must be that they were also requesting the exemption.
I'm sure, yep.
Yeah, that was really what they were requesting, the exemption.
This is a new location.
And is the
Oh.
is the 21,940,
New location.
assessed or appraised?
Well, 21,940 is the assessment.
Is the assessed, and they didn't get a penalty or anything?
Nope.
Okay.
They filed that on.
For them, not
Okay.
the building, but.
Yep, and this one is, I'm recalling that it's a small urology suite in the, at 52 Beach Road that, follows the policies of Bridgeport Hospital. I have in my note that they requested an exemption and it was denied, so they requested from your office and you denied them the exemption? Okay.
because they're new, so they don't have to have it.
Right. And it is, you know, one of the many, members of the Northeast Medical Group, but they are somehow associated with Bridgeport Hospital, or follows the policies of Bridgeport Hospital. But it is not Bridgeport Hospital, and it is a new, right? It's a new business or whatever, a new
It is a new
location.
Location.
It's new.
Mhm.
They're all connected.
It's new or they purchased out an existing practice, which is typically what they do.
Yep.
Okay.
And just for the record, the statute
I'm sorry.
for new locations is,
I will say that my interpretation of the statute is that only pre-existing ones, qualify for the exemption.
yeah.
And they're not owned by Bridgeport Hospital either, they're owned by, this is Northeast Medical Group, right?
Well, they're all
It's Bridgeport Hospital.
Bridgeport
Yeah,
Hospital,
it's
they're owned by
Bridgeport
Bridgeport Hospital.
Northeast
Use the other
Medical,
name. Doing
Mill
business as?
Hill Medical used to be part of them, but I think that's kind of vanished now. That was one of the very
They're all owned by
first,
Yale, so it doesn't,
one of these medical associations.
Mhm.
So, what do you think? Who's going to, be the first attorney to come up with the language that says, all right, your old practice is still a practice in, you know?
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
surprised-
basically it's saying,
I'm surprised they didn't think of it already.
but are we
It's a
saying,
private practice.
Yeah.
There's no question about it being exempt or not. It's taxable.
Mhm.
It's when it falls under the umbrella of the hospital when it gets.
but if it,
Well, they do
but are
because-
we saying if it falls under the umbrella of the hospital and they change locations to provide better service, right or wrong to the statute? I'm just saying, if we interpret it that every time they move, they're not exempt anymore,
I would
that doesn't make
probably,
sense.
if they took Dr. Smith and moved him from Beach to the Post Road, and it's the same practice and the same equipment, I mean, they'll probably buy some new stuff, but then I would probably leave them exempt. It's when it's Dr. Smith, and then they buy out Dr. Smith and it becomes Yale New Haven Health System.
Yeah.
Now it's not exempt. But if they buy them out, and it was previously exempted, then they move that location, I think I would leave it.
And how do we
Because
know,
it's the same
how do we
practice.
identify those two different
It is extremely
scenarios?
difficult. They are not very forthcoming with
of course
information.
not.
Very difficult
Surprise.
to get this info out of them as to what's where. Very difficult.
But in this case, it says, they're saying that they're Northeast Medical, but they follow the practices of Bridgeport
Follow
Hospital.
the policies, that's what I have in
So-
my notes.
If you follow the policies of Bridgeport Hospital, then guess what? You're working under them, otherwise you wouldn't be following their policies. I go to a group of cardiologists that are in Northeast Medical, that's the name, Northeast Medical Cardiology, have to follow Bridgeport Hospital's guidelines. So, during
But
COVID,
they're-
they made it,
but it's new, it's not an existing.
but it's new anyway, so,
And it's not on the campus.
I'm fine, no,
And by the way, I'm looking at the sheet, it was Lisa DiCaprio that appeared.
oh, yeah.
If you look at the affidavit, there were three
Mhm.
different people who could appear. So
Mhm.
that's the name on the minutes, so
Mhm.
I had the wrong name.
Leo's sister.
Who was there? I'm curious.
So what we're saying
Lisa
is when
DiCaprio
Bridgeport
did all
Hospital
three.
acquires a new practice,
Then,
that's not on the campus, that's just now under the umbrella of Bridgeport, I mean, we're setting a precedent, we have to make sure everyone's
But it's a
I
private
can't,
practice,
so the
right?
reason this one was denied by me was that it was not existing, it was a brand-new office that was opened up or purchased. I think it was opened up. So it didn't exist, it was brand new.
Okay.
Northeast Medical Group, it shows up as 52 Beach Road, Suite 205, that must be them, urology. Internal medicine.
But again, what we're saying is anyone that, any hospital that creates an expansion beyond their premises,
Formerly
Will now
Urological
be-
Associates of Bridgeport.
Right,
Yeah.
so they took that practice
yeah,
over.
they took it over.
They bought them out.
So that's new.
Yeah.
Northeast Medical bought them.
I can see why it's confusing,
Yeah.
to
Just
be
confusing.
honest.
Okay, we're ready to vote? I am, if everybody else is. You guys?
Anyone make a motion?
You make a motion. You're on-
Okay.
you're on
Okay,
fire.
I'm on
You're the
it.
motion person.
Okay,
'cause
I'll make a
I'm-
motion to grant, this practice at 52 Beach Road, what did I say the suite number was, is, exempt status.
All in favor? No one. Opposed? Unanimous.
She explained it differently, I probably will go back and listen, but she spoke very differently when she said it was brand new and
Of course you do.
how they were associated, it was
Oh, of
not
course you
the
did,
same
yeah.
as she spoke about the others. Okay. So that was number 9. So the next one is, number,
And just to go back to that, I mean, they are fully run by the medical group that they're under.
Northeast Medical Group.
Northeast or Yale New Haven Health System. I mean, they staff the office, they control the hours, they watch your patient productivity, you know, it's no longer a private practice like we knew it.
To the
They-
point
their
where,
Yeah,
computers,
they
their
are
software,
fully
their medical
under
records.
control.
To
The
the
doctors are
point-
salaried.
they're controlled to the point where when I went to my appointment, we're sitting in the waiting room, and the receptionist was walking around with masks. Now, everybody was wearing masks then. And I'm sitting there with an N95, and they don't bother me. They're gonna go, you have to take your mask off. Why? We only allow this one. I'm like, don't take that mask off. Tell her to go to hell. Just leave it on. You're not, because it was worse, it was less protective than the one they were giving her. But that's what the hospital wanted, and they were forced to tell patients they had to put it on. It was all the hospital. That was Bridgeport Hospital. They came out and said it. Bridgeport Hospital wants us to do this, so they are run by the hospital. There's no doubt about it. It was a Northeast Medical Group thing.
Okay. All good? Number
I'm
10?
good.
Okay, so we're on to, appeal number 10. The business is Balanced Being Counseling LLC. The property address was 1330 Post Road, Suite 8. The appellant's name is it up there?
Dr. somebody.
Alyssa, yeah,
Lisa.
I don't,
Lisa, Lois,
Fulvio.
oh,
Oh,
Alyssa
Alice.
Fulvio, it's
Oh.
here on the, it is on the sheet, okay.
Okay.
Alyssa Fulvio. Yep, and I believe this was a new business, so the town had, the assessed value of $2,500, which I'm assuming was the 2,000, right? She did not file, so it was 2,000 plus a $500 penalty.
Yeah.
I know what, did
This
she
is a
file
home- I think
zero?
she worked
Isn't this the one that, isn't this the one that hasn't been at that address? Now she's working out of her house?
No,
She only
No,
goes,
that's someone else.
oh.
it's a different one, yeah.
Yeah, so my question was, I believe she filed, but she filed zero. So do you give them the penalty only if they don't file at all? Or do they get the 500 penalty if they
Yeah,
file and they file zero?
Yeah, you put the penalty on anything that's omitted or if they didn't file.
Omitted. So she put zero.
Yeah.
So you're gonna,
So even
So
she
we
has to
add-
have a
we-
penalty.
They
if we
still get a
add
penalty?
something, it gets a penalty.
Okay.
Is that what you said, even if they filed
It's more
zero?
common when you look at it
She
as
did. I think she
like under
filed
an
zero.
audit
If she
scenario.
had filed $1, she wouldn't have gotten a.
No, we would probably not accept $1.
But
Yeah,
we need
why
to
not?
make
That's
sure
what
she
I
has,
mean.
she filed on time, it does not matter, it was
It's
2,000
omitted.
plus
But
the
if she filed
$500.
$0,
Did
she
she-
did, she filed, right, they
omitted
didn't
it.
file, but she wouldn't get a penalty because she filed something.
That was my question. Some of the others don't file at all, so
If
we
you
know.
audit a company
Seems unfair.
and you find $1 million worth of equipment that they
Penalty,
didn't file,
She did file.
they get a penalty on that $1 million.
I agree with
They didn't
it.
file it.
Why? Because they filed, but they filed something. I thought the penalty was for late or non-filing, not for incorrect
And
filing.
omitted. It includes omitted items.
But she didn't omit them, she did, but if they came up with a number, okay, well, I think it's worth this, I'll put this down, it could be way off, but they didn't omit it, they came up with a number, we don't have to like it, we don't have to agree with it. We don't have to accept it, but they still put down a number that I don't think they deserve a penalty, I mean, they're gonna have to pay on what they really have, but I don't really think they need a penalty for that. And then this one, she put down zero,
She filed a blank deck.
Yeah, I mean, there's a case to be made, it wasn't omitted, it was.
and she wasn't, she said it's not worth
She
it.
admitted what she had. that's what we're saying.
Well,
That's what he's
but
saying.
she didn't think it was worth anything, so. And by the way, does the form give them instructions that they can't put zero? Like, when they're filing it, is there anywhere on the website or anything that says, you must complete this application, you may not
Or
use
would-
zero, you
if
may,
zero will be considered
Consider
an
penalty.
If
omission.
you leave it blank, that's an,
yeah, she filled it in, for zero.
I don't remember if there's so much instruction on here, I don't remember, but I know when
Complicated.
if they file a blank deck online, I will forward it back to them and say, either refile it with something, or provide an explanation as to why it's zero. If you file a blank deck and explain it, and it's a reasonable explanation, you're fine. I filed the trade name, I'm not doing anything yet, I want to hold the
I
name.
just started.
I want to hold the name. Okay, that's reasonable, we get it. You might get a deck again next year, but
Okay.
we understand. But if you file a blank deck and don't explain why,
That's where the omission comes in, then.
it's in the statutes that we have to come up with a value.
wonder why she put zero when she has these
Yeah,
amounts right here.
Well, she went back down and filed.
oh, right,
so-
she went downstairs.
Yeah, her requested value was originally 300 and we asked,
But she said she has a 10-year-old laptop, or 8-year-old.
He said if they file online, he sent them back.
yeah, $240 for the laptop and $111
and a
and
coat
something
rack.
else in
I
number
don't think so either. Let's
16
fight about that.
furniture, right?
What?
Isn't box 16 furniture?
Yep.
So she put 111 depreciated in box 16, and in the computer box, she put 240. So it was a total
Accept it.
appraised
Well-
value of 351, so rather than the 300 she asked for, she said she was fine with the 351. which
Yeah.
is
Well, what-
clear.
Okay, well,
And then whatever that is assessed.
Wait a minute, what did she start with?
Zero.
But then, and then how do we come up with 351?
She came up with that.
She came up with 350 or 300?
351.
So you can
On
see it on the
second-
screen, she has a depreciated
In
value of
hindsight,
111.
she revised it.
Okay.
That's what she said.
One-
Code
111.
16,
Okay,
and code 20 shows a depreciated value of 240, so that equals 351,
okay,
350.
Appraised.
okay.
And then what?
Depreciated.
Yeah.
Appraised, depreciated.
So
But what-
depreciated.
Appraised, he
I
doesn't
need
use
a gun,
appraised
let me have a
and
handgun, because I'm gonna
depreciated.
shoot myself in the head.
So what's the
It's
assessed
original
value?
cost,
I know.
Depreciated value,
Assessed.
And don't say market value, because that will way confuse.
Oh, God, no.
No, there's no market value here.
With personal property.
Okay, so, Russ,
original installed cost on personal property.
you said that if they file electronically and it says zero or doesn't say anything, you ship it back and tell them to refile?
If it's online, and there's time.
Yeah.
Once they're late,
But what about,
sometimes I'll do it, but if they're already.
what about the person who hands it in and doesn't file that way? They don't get that same opportunity?
Maybe not.
So then maybe that
Because
isn't fair.
you have to understand the volume of these that we're
I
getting in.
know, but,
We don't always see them until December. When we take them over the counter, we try to look quickly to make sure that it's, that they've signed it and that they filled it out but,
Yeah.
we're not scrutinizing it at the counter that deeply. We do make sure that there's,
It's not perfect, the system's not
Right.
perfect, but
I get it, but
they're trying.
if I filed it manually, which I would normally do, and I found out that Helene filed hers electronically, and she got another chance to do it without a penalty because she filed electronically, we would have a problem. I'd probably go to court, because I don't think that's fair, like you can't, I understand that your
then I
swamp
won't
is a
tell
lot.
anybody and I'll dig them off.
So what's
That's
the
okay
pen-
then,
what's the
whatever,
penalty?
either way, it's gotta be one way or the other, we can't just
How
give it
much
to
is
some
the
and not the other.
The penalty, you take the 70%, and then it's 25% of the
Penalty.
70% is the assessed
assessed
value
value, and then it's
ratio,
25%
and then 25% is the penalty.
is the penalty.
So in this one, she does need to pay a penalty.
So it's
Okay.
25% of,
And what's
To
the
something.
assessed value of this?
well,
If it's
70% of
351,
341 is,
what's the motion that we're making?
once again, I will go into my wallet and hand it in so we can get done with it.
You know what, though, it's
So.
that, but it's also the principle.
So what is that, right, do you round it up or
Like,
down?
how would you like it if you found out you didn't get the same
Life-
opportunity as
I
somebody?
know.
I know life
Life is-
isn't fair,
Life
but
isn't
when
fair.
you're dealing with the public like this, you can't not be, you can't.
Essentially,
So assessed value of 245 plus the penalty.
Is what?
Okay.
What's the cost?
So that's my motion,
What?
to to grant the appeal, and reduce the assessed value to $245 plus a penalty.
Yeah.
Which would be what, like $60 on top of the penalty, right? So she'd be about $300.
Yeah, I mean, if we're not
Unless you
able
ask
to waive
for
the penalty, we can't waive the penalty. I don't know how we get
And
around
I don't
that.
think she's gonna get a tax bill. Will she get a tax bill for $300? Assessed?
I don't know what the,
If it's under $10, you have to
under
do
$10.
27.
Well, that's not under 10. What do you mean?
No, 27 is, what's the mill rate? 27.52?
Right,
You get a mill rate of, on $300.
right.
$370.
$3
and 7
$370 is the assessment threshold for $10 at 27 mils.
And she's at 300, so she's not gonna get a penalty. She's not gonna get a bill.
Okay.
What is she, 246?
What about the penalty?
Plus a penalty, $245 plus
If she
the
doesn't get a bill, she gets a
$3
penalty?
penalty.
307, so she's probably not
307.
gonna see a bill.
Not gonna get a bill.
So she doesn't get the penalty really either,
So doesn't pay anything.
doesn't pay anything.
Not worth it.
Okay,
Okay.
That's the motion on the table.
all in favor?
Unanimous?
Unanimous,
Okay. Unanimous in favor?
yes,
Write that down.
because it's not gonna pay anything. If she had to pay $1, I'd be voting
Yeah,
for
yeah.
it.
Be unanimous denied, but we're not. Unanimous in favor. Okay. All right.
Okay, who's-
The next
Who's
one?
the next one? Who's lucky? Who's the
I think,
Let's,
unless I'm missing it, it's number, I mean, anybody crossing them off, but I think number 15 is next, which is, the owner's property, Hartford Healthcare Corporation, the property that's 1262 Post Road, it's appeal number 15. I believe the town value is $2,793,030 assessed, and the requested value,
$1.99.
$1,891,252 assessed, and I think she meant $1,861,252 assessed, because that's what they filed, with a 61 and not a 91.
So we
I
are,
think they filled out the paperwork.
This is the one where,
we would recommend a
Double
reduction
counted.
to 931,780,
Why would we?
because we carried a particular, the code, let me see if
Oh, is that the one where we carried over something else and,
it's switched.
right, I remember that now.
It switched, where it was, the code number was filed under, and then we carried it by mistake.
I remember, I remember that. She said they would carry it over from the year before or something.
Yeah, she said they did not, they didn't fill the form out correctly, she should have
Yeah,
said that this was, the first was a partial, now they finished the leasehold, what's the leasehold improvements or
I
whatever?
remember that.
And now, instead of, so it got added in twice, and it should have only been the new number.
Right, so we're gonna remove code 24.
Okay.
That's not what she,
Wait a minute.
no, I don't think that's right. I
I don't
think
know what the
last
mechanics
year's
were, I just
was
remember.
983 plus a penalty.
Yeah, I remember that.
She got a late
So we
fee
should
last
remove,
year.
no, that's right, we wanna remove 24A.
Last year's 24A.
Right, and this year, it's gonna, so we're gonna reduce it by 931,780 to 1,861,250.
I actually did all the math to make sure, no, I don't remember.
To what was the, new total?
I think what she requested is correct. I think what she filed is correct on the form. She filled out the deck only with the new number.
Right.
Right? Whatever that number is, I see $1,861,252 is what's on her form, and I don't know if that's appraised or assessed.
What was the number?
She has $1,861,252, but that might be,
That's what
That might be assessed.
70% value of what they filed.
okay, then that's what she asked for, and I believe that's correct.
Right, so we would agree with that, because it's doubled up.
And no penalty, there's no penalty here. Last year she paid a penalty, but she wasn't arguing, she wasn't saying they didn't deserve it last year, they didn't file in time.
No, this was filed timely, so there's no penalty on it.
Yeah. So that would be my motion.
So we're granting it based on the double dip.
And
So that's what she wanted us to do, is just get that out of
I
there.
would reduce
Is that
the
right?
assessment to 1,861,250.
Okay.
That's I'll make another motion,
Okay,
to grant this appeal number 15, and reduce the assessed value to $1,861,250.
is that a grant part, or are we at granting?
It's grant, that's what she
Okay.
asked. Other than, I think it was a typo, she
Okay.
put 91 on the form, but I would just say she meant what she filed. I
All in
didn't see
favor?
$30,000 anywhere.
Unanimous. Next. Come on, Kathleen, right faster. Next.
5-0, and what number was that? That was number
15.
15, all right. And that was laid out.
I know.
Okay.
Let's see, outside is
24.
Number 24 is pretty easy, that was a no-show, so I'll read it in the record. Appeal number 24, the property address is 2490 Black Rock Turnpike.
Oh, wait a minute,
Number
stop,
12.
stop, please, excuse me, stop. Who's that, Lisa?
No, he's moving on to 27.
I'm already-
Oh, who's the appellant on that one?
24 is Glenstone Real Estate.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
LLC.
Sorry,
I
go
don't know
ahead.
who was supposed to show up, but, they didn't
No,
show.
go ahead.
Their appeal
That's
was
fine.
scheduled for Wednesday, March 6th at 10:40.
Right.
And we were here until at least noon or so, and the gentleman never showed. The town value was $5,000 on that. I don't know if that's because, I don't know. I don't know if that included a penalty or what,
Okay,
but
hold on.
maybe it doesn't matter. We're gonna.
I just wanna make sure that he's not one of the ones that's coming on the 19th.
No, there's two others that are the orthodontist or endodontist
Yeah.
or whatever it is, and then there was one other person.
Actually, there's another one, but we talk about that at the end of the meeting. We won't,
So is the 5,000 plus a penalty then?
Yep.
So it's 5,000 assessed plus a penalty.
okay,
Yeah,
just file this show up.
4,000 plus 1,000 penalty for a total of 5.
Okay, that makes
Okay.
sense. 4,000 plus a
Okay,
penalty.
okay.
Okay. And I don't know what he requested, 0. It says 0 in the mail merge.
real estate company.
Okay.
We're certainly not gonna help you.
So we found this from an income and expense report that was returned to us. So he was renting space, and it was verified from Concord, which is the Secretary of State's site.
Where's he renting space? Where was he renting space?
2490 Black Rock Turnpike.
I like to know when there's interlopers in the
Do we know what he asked for?
What?
I like to know when there's interlopers in the real estate community.
What number was that? 24?
0.
He asked for 0. Okay. So I will make a motion to grant this appeal and reduce, the assessed value to 0, which is what the appellant asked for. But he did not show.
Okay,
No.
wait a minute, he didn't show.
So,
Okay, all in favor?
I don't know if you even should vote on it if he didn't show.
I wasn't
I
sure.
don't know, if there's a
In
no
the
show,
past, we have put it in the minutes.
Let's
Let's
keep going.
Let's just do it.
Let's just vote on it.
Opposed.
And it fits in there.
Yeah.
All,
Right,
wait,
opposed.
all in favor, 0, all opposed, unanimous. Okay, we got it.
The next one is appeal number 27. The property address that was listed is 1700 Post Road. I believe it was Suite C18. The owner of the property is Linda Leaflin. Her name is spelled wrong. I don't know if it's wrong just on our mail merge, or it's wrong in the database, but it says Lifeland.
How is it spelled?
PhD, Lifeland, as the owner of the property. Linda Liefland, PhD, but I believe she's Linda Leafland, Liefland. The town had it valued at $760. Again, I'm not sure if that had a penalty in it, or the $760 assessed was just,
She
I don't
said she
know.
got on time.
Yeah, I don't think there was any penalty involved.
There was no penalty, okay. So the town valued it at $760, and she requested an assessed value of $500, but they actually changed it when they were here.
What'd they change it to?
A computer valued it, I believe, at $600, we can look at it. And then she's now at 87 Bayberry Road. She said she runs the business out of her home and now just rents a space when she needs a place to meet with a client. Otherwise, most of her work she's a sole practitioner, most of her work is
Telehealth.
telehealth. And her husband, Jonathan Orleans, was here with her. 600 for the computer, I believe, and 90 for the furniture. I think that's the depreciated value of the two, for 690 appraised. And then I just need to know if we're gonna grant
How come
it,
we've
let them
been
out.
seeing
Wait a minute,
computers at like $240?
Yeah, and how come hers is 600?
Yeah.
Maybe it was brand
Brand
new.
new.
I'm not sure. Does anybody look
We
at it?
And she
carried
came in-
we carried her prior year.
But,
She did not file, so we took last year's numbers and brought them forward.
so she does have a penalty in there then?
Oh,
The
from
seven
year
sixty
before?
includes a penalty.
Wait a minute, I don't get it. Russ, I don't get that. If you don't file, right, then you carry the numbers from the previous year,
If
so
we
nothing
have-
depreciates?
Probably
Depreciates
that
in
it
like
carried them.
20% increments.
Yeah,
not
but how
every
could it not,
year.
just because she didn't file, how could something not depreciate?
We depreciate it. Unless it's bottomed out, then it doesn't.
Okay, so then I misunderstood what you
Our
said.
software has multiple ways to handle non-filers. My preference is not one of those four options. My preference is to allow the depreciation to happen, and then we add an estimation under an unused code. Because what you see happen is, if you don't add something, they continue to depreciate to these minimal numbers and never file.
Okay,
So if they were underreported or you underestimated initially, and you keep depreciating that number, they're not gonna
Get it.
file.
okay,
So this year, we actually added, I forget what we added, at least 10%. So that held them at the last year's number, because everything typically goes down 10% a year, give or take. So this
Okay.
year, I'd like to have it continue to depreciate, because if it doesn't, and then when they file, everything's out of whack. So I like to let the depreciation happen, put whatever you want into a separate field so that you know that's what you added, and then the penalty on top of that.
okay.
So her 760 is how much penalty and how much, I guess you could divide it out.
For some reason, there's no penalty on this. I'm not sure, because it says we carried the numbers.
You sure they didn't file?
Did she pay the penalty?
I actually think we missed the penalty on this.
Oops.
Just
Because
says gross
in 23, the note is we carried the figures from previous years, so it's quite possible she filed a blank deck and that wasn't noted correctly.
So there's
And
nothing
then
in the appeal,
March
right? You have
6th, she
nothing.
filed the deck.
Does it say on the application for personal property that if you file 0, you will be fined?
I'd have to read I can't remember if that is.
Put the number 0 in there, you will be fined. Might be good information for
Yeah.
people to know.
We send out a letter to all new businesses that we find every year twice. And the letter says, it lays out the 4 scenarios. You're new and you need to file, so file. You're new, but you don't have any assets, you haven't started business. You need to file and tell us that. And so we tell them, don't file a blank deck. You're new, but you're actually part of another business. So XYZ Corp. also has a DBA and a trade name of ABC, but they operate out of the same location, it's all the same equipment. So you just need to let us know that ABC is filed under XYZ, and you're fine. And I forget what the 4th scenario is. But we, like I said, we send out a nice welcome letter to everybody, so we lay it out, there should be no question. But people don't read.
Well, we're Fairfield, but now you owe us money.
People don't read.
I know they don't.
can't tell you how many times. So we send a welcome letter, we send the deck, we send an increase notice in July. Well, that's the first thing I've gotten. It's all going to the same address, 3 other notices and nothing.
Because I wonder who gets them, you know, you never know, like,
It's very
Small business,
frustrating.
yeah.
If they just read the first letter and followed the instructions and did
You
it.
just get I can see how it happens.
I can see how it happens, so,
So much in the mail.
I can see, you get a stack of
It
mail.
looks like a real thing, but it's not a real thing. It's
Listen,
like,
if it comes in an envelope that says Town of Fairfield,
Yeah.
don't ignore it.
yeah.
Right.
Well, that
Well,
would
but
actually be helpful.
That's true though, but then who's it's not our business, but who's opening the mail? Some high school kid at the desk? And that, you know, it's like, then they see one that says, oh, there's money, oh, you better look at this. Well, that's the first time I've seen it. So, you know, you just don't know, but still, they have to, you know, they have to look at it. I get it, I'm just saying. I can see how it could happen, I'm not saying it's right.
All right, back to this lady.
Okay, so now this lady
So
now.
you missed the penalty, it sounds like.
So the
Well,
note
that
I
makes it
have from
easier.
Michelle on this is that she filed 760, but we carried 280. So is she asking for 760?
She's asking for, I mean, when she was here, she ended up at 690 appraised, I believe. You
But
can,
here she's asking for 500 on
She
the,
added more.
Right.
I don't understand how people come in here asking for one thing, and they walk out of here paying more. How's that happen?
we don't have a copy of the deck. Usually we have the deck, but I have in my notes, furniture at $90 and computer at $60. Now, I'm assuming
Oh,
that's
that's because we-
depreciated, but,
But that's because we pushed her to give us a
That was
number.
in
That's
there?
how that happened.
no, her husband, I think.
Oh, that's how it works. Well, do you have furniture with that? Oh, yeah, okay,
She
well,
said we use the furniture for my family too, it's at my
Yeah.
house, you know. The computer, she obviously has to put in all her medical records and all that, and she uses it for Zoom with her
Yeah.
clients.
oh, definitely.
What do you have in there?
She disposed of all
90
the
for
other
something,
things.
see, there's a 90 for the furniture.
So why are we giving her a hard time about
Well, she
furniture?
says, she says in her
so we have
thing here, though, it
300,
does
the
say
original
personal
cost of
computer,
300,
desk
depreciated
chair, file
90.
cabinet.
That's the furniture, where's
And
the
then-
computer?
This is computer 750 and 1,000.
Is
But
two
not,
computers?
but not in the Post Road location.
Right, in her home.
Yeah, she has to use the space, it's 22.
So we,
Equipment.
I wonder if the fair
The
market
750
value of
got added.
500
The
is
1,000 was
determines the
previously
depreciation
declared.
I don't know, they
value,
don't,
and the higher number is her appraised
Don't
value,
know.
is her,
So what was the,
I'm
what
saying-
was the
from now on,
So
760?
if you look at the screen, this
I
is
think
the
from
left
now on,
side
they
is
come to us
last
and
year,
they don't know, just
Yeah.
come downstairs because.
and the
they
right
talk
side is
about
this
numbers.
year.
They
So
get out of
her
it.
furniture went from
Where did
1,000
the
total
690 come in?
I really don't
to
know.
300.
I'm having a hard time finding that.
Right, see, she declared 300 and 700 last year, just
Okay.
talking about cost.
okay?
And then this
No,
year
prior year,
was
she
300.
declared 700.
This is this year, over here is last year. So this got reduced from 1,000 to 300 this year.
Uh-huh,
And then on the computer equipment, the 1,000, you can see it went from 2020 to, it stayed there, so that's the same as last year, and this got added. Do you want me to go pull her deck?
That's the depreciated value, 600.
this-
That's,
Yep,
right, is that 6 or 4 on the right?
6.
6, okay. So that's what they said. 90 for the furniture and 600 for the computer. I just wasn't sure if that was appraised or assessed, so that's the appraised value.
Oh, that's where the 690 came from,
Appraised?
yeah.
Yeah.
including the
I don't see
depreciation.
that we have a deck here. Like I say, I can go down,
Yeah,
Run
that's the
downstairs.
depreciated value. Now, whether they should have taken the $1,000 computer off on their, you know.
So then the assessment.
Oh, no, they declared, that's what
no, I would think we'd take the 750 off.
so it looks like they have 2 computers? Is that what you're seeing?
Again, I'd have to go pull the deck to know better.
What she said. That's what he said, and then we sent him, he went down, you know, they both went down and met with Karen. Because she felt as a sole practitioner, when she no longer had an office, you know, so she probably had more computers, she had more equipment and things in her other office. But now, all she uses is her laptop and some furniture at home.
Mm-hmm.
But those were the numbers that they gave.
So what was the final number she was asking?
690 appraised, whatever that would be assessed. And you're saying
690
you
and
did file, so
7%.
we don't, there's no penalty involved.
483, is that it?
Yeah, that's, I
Yeah,
have
485 or something assessed.
483?
Yeah, you can see her
round it up.
history.
43,
890, 900, and 760.
go with 43.
Now, why, she's showing a penalty here. Why didn't I see that on the other screen?
So the 760 did include a penalty?
Oh, boy.
Yeah, something's
They
quirky
figure
here.
out what 760 is a penalty on.
Because I can see it here.
45% of.
Well, don't we know if
Would be
they filed late or
750,
not,
that was
simply by
one.
looking
No,
at
she
the
filed,
date?
I think she filed.
Normally it shows right on the screen, but like I say, something's not looking right with this this one. So she got a notice for $760.
Wait, didn't the notice used to say that how much was this plus the
Yep.
penalty? It used to break the penalty out.
So it's not showing a
It's not
penalty.
doing that anymore. The notice that they get.
I don't know
doesn't
why
break the
this is
penalty out.
showing a penalty, quite frankly, here, but it's not picking that 182 up.
I mean, either way, I'm comfortable,
Does it matter?
with the
if we
assessed
can
of
correct?
485, it just for the
Yeah.
minutes, I just wanna know, or do we need to include a penalty or not on top of that?
Just
Not if she filed on time.
Yeah.
penalty if appropriate. And we'll double check to see if there's a debt.
You can figure that out.
Yeah, I mean,
after
if
we
you
vote.
let me know
Right, if
within
they file, they
24
get it,
hours.
if they didn't
Yeah.
file, then.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're comfortable.
Yeah,
I'm okay with
I
that.
mean, we're not, we don't just stick penalties
We don't
on for no reason.
decide that.
We know.
So just let me know
Okay.
for sure, and we'll motion it that way, and
Like I say, I can run down and grab it.
what do we got left?
No, we're good.
We've got one left. That's a complicated one, but,
Well, I can tell you on the next one, we have not gotten the information we've asked for on it.
okay.
All right, well, let's.
Do you want him to run downstairs, or you wanna just keep going?
No, let's just.
We'll do it?
I think we should do it.
Okay, we'll
and
make
then
a friendly
give him the-
amendment tomorrow night or whatever to add the penalty. We'll know by tomorrow night.
Yeah,
Whether-
like I said, I'll run down, it only takes.
I'd rather have it
But
be,
it's not our job.
Let me go down.
All right, go down.
Yeah, go down, go down.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, I'll take a
Let's
break.
go to the next
So
one.
guess what?
Can we
We're-
table that?
yeah. We'll just go on to number 30.
We gotta need
What
him
is
for
number
wait a
30?
minute, we gotta need him for number 30.
Well, we know that this one, we're all in agreement, is gonna be 485, right? That'll be the
Yeah.
motion, we round it up to the 85.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And then, so the last one, the last personal property is number 30. The property address is 501 Kings Highway East, Suite 102. The owner of the property is Adapt Health LLC, DBA as Health, I have to find, Health Complex Medical. The town's value
We gotta
is
go.
507,850, the requested value is $9,339, and the appellant was Nathan Butterbaugh, who was the, was here. So,
He had someone else present too, didn't he?
no.
No, he was by
Oh,
himself.
he was by himself, okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah, me too.
this one, I asked questions about this one, so the assessor's office answered some of the emails on
I don't think I
this
saw
one.
that.
So it turns out there was a large amount, of dollars, if you look at the declaration from this year, of like $500,000 or more, I'm trying to find the right one here. $500,000 or more of property. And they did not show how they disposed of the property on the deck. It just shows that you're supposed to reconcile that you disposed of the property, you sold it, you transferred it or whatever, and then how you did that. So they did not include that when they filed. And he agreed when he was here that they filed just a bunch of stuff right on the deadline to at least get the filing in, but that he needed to modify it, that he didn't get
Right.
everything, so he emailed the people in the office, asked them what they had, they said they had some furniture and some CPAP machines, so he went ahead and, those were the numbers he gave us, was what the woman said for the CPAP machines and the equipment, but when we asked him about the other assets, he didn't have an answer on what happened to those assets.
We
Maybe the
believe,
business was recently sold or something, but.
right, they filed the office equipment. But we don't believe that they filed the equipment that they're leasing out. So the first time we asked the question, they said, well, it's all out of Waterbury. Well, and then our question is, well, it doesn't matter where it's out of, it matters where it's located. So if they have leased medical equipment in Fairfield, it should be declared to Fairfield. And they haven't been able to answer that question.
But he did when he was meeting with us. Didn't he have that line item for to me, the leased equipment is the CPAPs.
Yeah,
That was declared to
that's what
us.
he said he
No,
had.
but if you pull up, can you pull up the appeal?
Do you want to finish Leafland?
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, let's finish Lisa.
So she declared I'll talk original cost, $300 for furniture and $750 for a computer.
Seems like a lot for a computer.
Yeah.
Original.
So that's what we have here, $300 and that's $750. So this $1,000 was carried.
That was,
As the original, prior
Right, so
to,
last year she said I had a new computer in 2020.
oh,
Oh.
And this year, she said I have a new computer in '22 for $750.
Oh, okay.
So, remove that, I'm not sure, because what she said doesn't correspond to what she declared.
did they file on time though?
Yes,
Okay, so there's no
No
penalty
penalty.
with this.
right.
I mean, and I don't think she has two computer, I mean, I also don't think she's using two computers.
I doubt she does,
No.
no
Well, it's EDP equipment, it doesn't have to be all computers.
What's EDP equipment? Is that not payroll?
Computer, phone, printer, that kind of stuff.
I mean, I'm tempted to stick with the 485.
yeah, I mean, she swore under oath that that's what
Mhm.
she's using, so.
I'll go with
Let's
that.
do it.
I can go with that.
Yep.
So that's a motion to grant the appeal, even lower than what she asked for, right? They originally say 500 or something, to $485 assessed.
All in favor? Unanimous?
Okay, so now we're back to number 30, which is this, Adapta-Health.
Do we want to wait for Carol?
Yeah.
I may save going over the same information again.
Can you call up the,
We'll take a second.
oh, sorry, you're probably.
Yes, there it is.
I have a
It's
mouse.
gonna be a recorded, everything's recorded. Just saying.
Hey, hold on.
Maybe.
I have a mouse that comes into my car every night, sets off the alarm, and chews on stuff. If I get that little damn mouse, and I gotta go to BMW and have
You've
it
had that happen.
inside the engine, this is in the car, where
Oh,
I sit.
oh,
I did not ask for a
they
passenger.
love your car.
9:30. I
We
know,
haven't seen him.
and the alarm goes off, and I'm like, why is the alarm going off? Now, my brother's car's behind mine, so no,
Tiny
you
little
can't get to
thing.
mine without getting his first. So it's like, well, there, then I found the remnants. I was furious.
Really?
So I'm gonna put decon in the car with me and ride around with that.
Oh, my gosh.
Better hope he passes away somewhere.
That's what I'm afraid of. They tend to leave and go look for water because it's combing at me, but you never know. I had a red squirrel in the engine the other day too. I started banging on the hood, he came out.
Oh. Everyone likes your car.
Where you live, in Bridgeport?
I can't.
That was at a friend's house because I had to stay,
Had cheese in your car?
no, nothing, I don't eat in the car.
Oh, no, they'll eat all the, you talking about chipmunks?
No, they eat the wires, they like
the mice,
plastic,
yeah.
it's sweet. If you have
Yeah.
any plastic, they'll chew on.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
Rip those
where are we
teeth out one
doing?
at a time.
So now we're back.
That appeal, yeah.
Okay, so here we are with the guy with the CPAP machine,
It's
right?
called the 2023 appeal, or whatever, his deck. Because in the deck, it shows, right, on page, 6 of the 2023 filing, he shows assets declared last October 1 of $805,474. And then he says assets added since October 1 of $550. And so he never shows how the assets were disposed of or what happens to it. And if you dispose of them, you're also supposed to fill out page 4 where you say what happened to them. So there is one letter in the file from, a different Butterbaugh, but, different first name. Where's the letter? But please note the lease expired at this location and all assets were either transferred out of the county or disposed. To reflect disclosure, please close this account and remove from the tax roll. However, that letter, says county on it and it does not say, oh, and the lease, they're still there. So even though this says the lease expired, the lease did expire, but they're still in the space and they're still operating. So this sounds
But
like,
how do we
if you
know
read
that?
the generic letter, it sounds like it's a very generic letter.
But how do we know he's still there?
Yeah.
Did Michelle call those plates,
I
right?
believe they sent us information, for the office equipment. They said, here's what we've got. They called whoever works out of that office, oh, we just got a desk, chair, computer, blah, blah, blah.
And a couple CPAP machines. Is that
For
what you're
fitting,
talking
yeah.
about?
I believe so.
Right.
There was a lot,
But
there was like 40 or something.
But
at
that's what
340.
he talked about when he was here.
That's not
Yeah.
the issue.
What is the issue?
Yeah, I'm
Let's
confused.
cut
How
to the
can they
chase.
say they moved and then, like, I don't get all
The
that.
issue is the big number.
What big
which is-
numbers?
Last year, they declared was it 500, what I said it
Why do
was?
we care?
Which is 800, almost 800,000
Right.
in original cost. And, you know, we believe that is leased equipment, not that they have in their space, but it's out.
They leased it out to
It's
someplace.
in,
I get
it's
it.
in a doctor's office or it's in, you know.
Somebody's
your
home,
And that's
and so they're
what we're
collecting
not-
money for that.
Oxygen
That's what we're not
machines,
getting
there's a
from
lot
it.
of stuff,
Oh,
right,
okay.
that they
I get it.
declared last year.
See, this is where it's sort of like, why didn't we ask them that?
I don't think we
We
knew.
have.
They had
No,
it.
no, at our hearing.
We didn't, because we don't know.
Yeah.
That's why Russ
But we
is
just
sitting here.
missed it on the line there, I think.
Yeah.
He didn't reconcile the assets.
And what was, Ross, what was the information that, you requested from them?
You know, it's been confusing because we ask them and they say, well, there's very little in there. They're thinking space, what's in the space. So we're trying to explain to them that it's the leased equipment. We were dealing with one person, and now she referred us to somebody else, and we haven't heard back from the other person, the other guy.
And I think the guy who was here, the gentleman who was here does all those businesses right there. That's
Wow.
all under AdaptaHealth. So that accountant from Pennsylvania is doing personal property filings for all
All
those
those
businesses.
Oh, my gosh.
So, no wonder he barely got anything
Yeah.
filed last October, and now he came in and all he did was email them and ask them what they physically had in the office. So they have a bunch of CPAP machines on the floor or whatever, and some office equipment.
I get
But
it.
he failed to tell us
My
the age.
suspicion is they don't understand that they should be filing for the equipment that's where it's located.
That's
So I
not
have a
fair, yeah.
question.
But they
Why
did last
don't
year.
we, since we're understanding this now, thanks to Ross's explanation, why do we have to vote on it now? Why can't one of us reach out to this guy?
They've been reaching out,
We have.
They can't get
but
it.
now we can. I mean, as a board, I think.
But we
if you
can,
wanna reach out.
We know to reach out to we have his contact information and say, you have a deadline now
Next week,
to
we're gonna do one,
explain,
right?
yeah.
19.
The 19th when we
To
have.
explain what,
meet.
Yeah, or else it's gonna be an automatic denial.
Yeah, you
So
want
you've got-
me to
Yeah,
tell us what, more about that, what is it,
I would
It's
ask
something,
that
$1 million
if you
worth
wanna
of
do that,
equipment?
yeah, what do I have to ask?
send us the email first so that we can offer up some suggestions on how to word it so that we
Oh,
don't
okay.
end up bouncing back and forth because we're gonna know how to phrase
Mhm.
that to get what we want
That's fine.
better than you will probably. So,
Okay.
you know, you can write it, send it to me, you know, Michelle, Karen, and I will offer up
Right.
some suggestions on how to tweak the language, and then you guys can send that to me.
So that
That's fine.
number of 507,850, that was based on what we had from the previous year?
Last year.
Yeah,
So last year they filed the big number,
okay.
you know, the 800,000,
But it's still showing on this year's deck.
because we carried it. I don't
Well,
know,
no,
I
it's,
shouldn't
but
say
the
that.
computer loads it, right? The number's actually on page 6 on the bottom of the page. Page 6 of the deck, I don't know what that page of the backup it is. Right, the bottom of the page 6 of the deck where you reconcile your assets. And that's where one of the other ones,
Yeah,
right
so
there.
here. There it is. Gotta get rid of that. Yeah, so they indicate that they filed 805 last year. They don't show any disposals, and they're saying 550 new. So they didn't fill out the reconciliation correctly. I don't believe in relying on the reconciliation or disposals.
But they
They're
didn't
not-
fill out the disposal.
They're not
list either.
required.
Right.
The disposal list is not required.
Oh, I thought it said fill out page 4.
Well, we have this here,
Column?
that's, this one right here, disposal,
That
it's
report, right.
ANA.
I'll send Ross a-
So yeah, they didn't list any
Wants to ask
disposals, they
about
didn't
all
show
that.
any disposals in the reconciliation.
Did they put the NA in there?
Yeah,
Sounds like a lost in translation.
you're not required to do that.
But they need
Like-
to understand that it's not what's physically there,
It's what they actually own that they
Own.
send out.
That they're
Located in
getting paid
Fairfield.
on, right?
Right.
They're probably
Stored-
managing the lease.
Stored in Fairfield for distribution from Fairfield.
No,
Yeah,
if
stored in
they
Fairfield.
rent a CPAP machine and it goes to Darien, that's not taxable to Fairfield. They should be filing that in Darien. Yeah,
These
Oh
phones
my
are tricky,
God.
man.
Wow.
yeah, tell
It's
me
only
about it.
what's leased in
Stored
Fairfield?
with leased in
Seriously.
Fairfield?
Think about things like propane tanks that are rented. Rural Gas has to declare all those propane tanks.
When do they charge them?
Then you get into things like trailers, like construction trailers that are moving around and not maybe on a job site the whole time. Portalets that are on job sites. Oh, yeah, this is why we can't get through all these decks that quickly, because some of them are that.
Do we make a lot of money on this?
No.
Then why are we
Well,
doing,
I mean,
we're doing all this work.
I'll put it this way, it's
Well, this one, yeah.
It's very similar to motor vehicles. It's not a tremendous amount, but it's enough that you can't get rid of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It would make a significant dent
Oh, okay.
in your mill rate if you tried to get rid of it.
Okay. Yeah,
But this
that's
tax
very
bill
attention
was
enough.
like $89,000? What's this tax bill on this amount last year? They must have paid the tax bill last year for $8,000 or whatever. It's not a small tax bill.
No, that's not.
Sounds like the replacement of people caused that problem.
Yeah.
But that's gonna require someone to go in and find out
But
of
they
all
filed-
the machines that are leased out, where are the ones in
But
Fairfield?
They should have a list in their computer of their clients. And if they looked up by where,
Yeah.
they should be able to see where they
Yeah,
live.
easily.
They
So
can
unless
find that.
everybody's not, most of them are not in Fairfield,
Unless they do the labor with the
everyone,
cards.
They should know what town their equipment is located.
Yeah.
They really should.
It sounds like they have to know it, so.
They know, because they have to know where, yeah.
All right, it's just, it sounds like these guys are out of
14,000.
Pennsylvania.
All right, so let's
and
table that one.
We'll table that one.
$14,745.
Oh, that's money. We have to- yeah,
14,000 in
that's-
taxes.
That's legit money, yeah.
Yeah,
All
that's
right,
legitimate money. Right, so, I'll send you an email, Ross, and I'm gonna call on the phone, so I can just send a reminder
But do
email.
me a favor, write the email, let us provide the language before.
That's
you
what I'm
call.
saying, I'll send you an email, but then, yeah, okay. Yes, absolutely,
Yeah,
I'll do that. Email Ross,
so we'll table it to,
till the 19th.
And these
Yeah.
guys did do the filing last year, thought it was a different that had been sold, but it wasn't. This same guy signed the deck last year, so.
Okay, who's next? That was it?
That's it, that's number 30.
That's it.
you wanna keep going or no?
We could.
I
We're
don't
here.
mind.
I don't mind, because I'm
I
here.
didn't bring my lunch.
Wanna stop till 7, or?
You didn't bring your lunch, dinner?
No, I bought a bag of pretzels, I think.
Well, go get something to eat, we'll take a 20-minute break.
No, I don't need anything, in my head, I'm thinking we're doing real estate tomorrow night, so. But
You wanna
But
review
we're
everything?
here.
it doesn't matter, I mean, I'm probably ready enough to do.
Well, if we have to skip one or table one, we can.
Right.
And I did notice, the agenda, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
One thing
We
before
can
we,
make a motion and add it to the agenda, because it was to regular meeting,
okay.
right?
Before we do that, I just want to point out that there is an additional appeal to hear on the 19th.
Okay.
She'll come at 6. It is, I already notified Russ's office. It is, I forget her first name, but it's Dr. Khan, and the address is 901 Fairfield Beach Road. She missed her hearing, and to come to find out, she's a physician, and I guess she works until 5:30 or 6, that's why she can't come before that. And they had a medical emergency in the office that day, and she was not able to leave.
Okay.
And it was-
That was one of the no-shows?
That was one of the no-shows.
Okay.
So that's.
So it's not a brand new one?
Oh, no, she filed that time and everything, she was on the list.
Yeah.
Okay, So that's that.
6 o'clock, okay.
So we have one at 5, one 5:15 or 5:20, and then the earliest she could get here, she's gonna try to get here before 6. The latest she'll be here is 6. Okay? Now, do we have to make a motion to go on with real estate?
I would just say decide maybe which ones you wanna do, and then we'll just make a motion to add.
I was just gonna go in order. Pardon?
Do you want the full?
Yeah, we might as well take the files.
I'm sorry?
Are those the files?
Yeah, those.
We'll take them. And I have something for you, Russ, has to go get scanned into the,
I mean, I don't wanna keep going if nobody else wants to.
no, I want to, I mean, we're here.
No, I think
Here,
real
now, we
estate
might
always
as well.
takes-
Yeah, you never know how long it's gonna take, so yeah. Let me give Ross something here.
Do you have any questions on the real estate before I go?
Kathleen, you
don't
have some
leave.
questions and answers.
You mean to leave for the
Yeah,
night?
some were answered.
No, you have 20 minutes, you give us till 7 o'clock,
There you go.
20 minutes. Probably
This
need
has to
it.
get put into the file.
And we wanna do the
The
monopole
name's on here, but I don't remember, oh, it's appeal number 19,
Yeah,
if you wanna
let's do
write that
that
on here. Okay, that's your
That
email
was
and
going
all
to
that.
help from him, so that you're gonna need some
Yeah,
assistance.
let's,
Number 19?
Okay. Yeah, well, we're not doing that one tonight, I'm giving him, I just handed Ross, her email and her comps. She was
No,
gonna-
that's 901 you're talking
No, 901 is the one we're gonna do on the 19th,
Yes.
not Charlotte. What's her name? Kimberly somebody. She's at Melody Court.
oh, Melanie
We told her
Court.
to get concert meeting, so she sent
Her
an email.
pictures.
Yeah, we asked her
No,
for
Appeal
comments.
19 is Carney at Hoyden Hill.
Oh, no, that's what it is.
Yeah, that one we wanna do. That's the one we
Wrong
wanna
appeal
do.
number. But it's, her name is on there, Kimberly somebody.
Melody Court.
28.
28, okay. Melody Court. So she just handed in an email explaining the new comps, because we sent her, she had the wrong year's comps. We told her to
Right.
get new
I
comps.
remember.
And she put a little note about changing what she wants for her value. It's all in the email. I couldn't get it to them, so I just printed it out, and I figured I'd bring it in. But I got here late, so good thing Ross is here.
So what are you saying? You're asking Ross to scan it all in?
Yeah, so we can
Not
see
him,
it.
but this-
Yeah, so then to
So
scan
we'll
into
have,
the
I got
account.
it.
Yep.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Let's go to Hoyden's Hill.
Wait a minute, we're going out
Make
of
a
order.
motion to add appeal
We're
number
going,
19.
we're going
I
out of
know,
order.
but it's like, it's one that we can probably.
Oh, okay, let's
And
do it,
he's
we'll do
probably
it.
gonna need his help before.
Okay, let's do it, so, all in favor, yeah, let's go, we're gonna do it, we're agreed.
So, hold on. Let's start from the beginning.
Kathleen made a motion to hear the appeal for.
To add it to the agenda, we all have to agree to add appeal number 19 to the agenda.
Okay. You have to agree to that? Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome, let's go.
Okay, so, we are going to discuss appeal number 19, which is 285 Hoyden Hill Road. The owner of the property is, Daniel Carney and Melinda, I don't have the second name. The appellant who is here is Daniel Carney. The town has the property valued at $394,500. He's requesting a reduction to $295,875. And if you remember what this one was,
I do.
he said that he had, that Eversource had put some brand-new monopoles in his backyard. It's an aesthetic nightmare. They also created a road. There was an easement there previously to protect the growth, but there used to just be a couple poles very far away, one at Lake Mohegan and the other one someplace else. And now, he's got a big pole right in his backyard. He included photos
I
of
think he's got two.
And where did this, response from the office come in saying that it's already a .75?
Well, Kathleen asked a
I
question of the
asked what it
assessor.
meant, because we were all questioning when he was here what what's already on the chart, which is PL/topo.
And we thought that meant,
We weren't sure what PL
So you
stood
should
for,
get
whether
clarification
that
for what
was
it
in there for the monopoles, so the answer is no, that meant,
Power lines.
power lines, and it's been in there since at least 2015, since the 2015 reval.
so the lines,
So he must have,
Well,
the power lines.
It's
must-
not the pole. It's the lines, the towers, it's the whole thing. It's not a reduction just for the lines. It's because there are lines and
yeah.
supporting infrastructure for that.
But people think of that as radioactive and stuff. I mean, there's just a negative perception.
Well,
of
because,
all
and
that.
besides that, it's ugly as sin. Did you see them?
No, I'm talking about,
I honestly
I'm
think the
talking about what
monopoles
he
were better than the ladders.
discounted it from the last,
Yeah, yeah.
time.
I had a question about that. I looked at the field card, to go over what Kathleen had asked and what you responded. So you have it separated into two things. One thing, they're both listed at 75%.
And the other, the second one's at .3.
Yeah, but what's the that's the part I don't understand.
The first 2 acres are on the first line.
Okay.
And anything over 2 acres is on a second or third line.
And we only do that in Greenfield Hill.
We do that in the entire town.
Like, whatever
every
the,
single property.
But it has to be 2 acres?
no,
For
it's
each
whatever
2
the,
acres,
oh,
Not by zone.
I thought
the
it was
way
on
that,
zone.
the way that,
Well, then we really don't do it much, because there's not that many 2-acre properties. There's a few.
Hold
the
on.
way the field cards are structured,
Yeah.
and structured for
Yep.
decades,
Mhm.
is that the first 2 acres are listed as square footage up to 2 acres. Anything over 2 acres is listed as acreage on its second line.
Okay.
I've talked, for a while, I felt that your first line should be your zoned acres. I've talked to reval companies as we've gone into revals about that. Some said, yes, you can do it that way. Others say, no, we think it's better to do it as a base acreage, 1 acre, 2 acres, whatever you decide, and then anything over that. They said it tends to have less discrepancy. So it's not a right or a wrong way, it's just 2 different ways of coming up with a result. So,
And I can see that, I can see an assessor or a reval company saying that in, say, Easton, where you have 2 different zones, 1 acre, 3
Right, I
acre.
know, we've got
So if you
many
have
here.
2 acres in a 1 acre zone, you've got a lot more land. If you've got 4 acres and it's not subdividable, well, it would be, but let's say it was a little less than that. But in a 3 acre zone, if you have 4 acres, it's not subdividable.
well, my argument
But
was
here-
that if you do your base acreage based on your zoning, you can more easily identify ones that might be subdividable. There's other factors, of
Mhm.
course, but
Yeah.
it makes it more easier to see them and pop them out, but
But then, somebody on an acre, in a 1/4 acre zone, their land value is gonna be much higher than, say, mine at a 1/3 of an acre, because they've got all that extra land.
no, say it again, I have to hear it.
Somebody who's got an acre of land, no matter where they are,
Right,
their land value has to be more than what mine is, because I've got a 1/4 of what they have.
yes.
So how can I have the same land value? But that acre, in this case it would be an acre, they only need a 1/4 acre, so they've got 3/4 of an acre more than is needed to do anything with. But they're paying a premium for it, they're not getting a discount on that.
They're gonna pay more, but they're not gonna pay 4 times as much.
That's okay, but they're still paying a lot more than, let me ask you this way, are they paying more than the people in Greenfield Hill with the 1 acre, with the over 2 acre thing? No way to
I don't know
go?
who they is.
Well, I can
You know what I
give
mean? You're
bringing
just
up
randomly
another-
saying, does this piece of property pay more than somebody in Greenfield Hill? Well, I don't know who that is.
Okay, well,
I mean, you're
no, actually,
going into too much hypothetical.
no, I'm not going into too much.
Let's just keep it higher level.
Okay, let's overcharge. Okay, let's go on to the appeal. Let's just continue to overcharge. Let's go on to the appeal. Number 19 we were discussing?
Yeah, that was it. We're just trying
Yeah.
to decide, so that power line has been on there. And we know how, he said he came up to his number by.
Oh, excuse me, the power line hasn't been on there.
The power line,
The new,
PL,
he's complaining about the new one that's right near
the
his
new
house.
monopole.
Right, he's not complaining about what was there before, he's complaining about the additional one.
And,
And because they were, I don't think before they had a giant road,
and they put the road in.
and that road is big.
Yeah,
that's
It's- And it's not just his part, there are a lot of them, but he's complaining about his, so stick to his.
Didn't he complain about all that, rock blasting?
Yeah, rock blasting, I'm sure that was great for his
I wonder
foundation.
how that's going to affect, the
I don't know.
water runoff too.
It could affect his foundation, he may not know it yet,
The
may
road
not.
is down there.
That wide, cleared?
What they did is, they went to replace those, they cleared out the overgrowth.
Okay,
And I will almost guarantee you that, once they're done replacing the lattice towers with the monopoles, that the overgrowth will come back in and it'll become a 2-wheel Jeep trail so that they can go in and perform maintenance when needed.
how long do you think it'll take?
The overgrowth?
Yeah.
Probably a year or two. I mean,
Okay.
think about how fast your yard grows in if you don't cut the grass.
But you're saying he had poles before?
These are the high-tension lines that go over.
Yeah, I know, but he said he could
Yeah,
never
this
see
is
a
different.
pole.
He couldn't see the poles, now he can see them.
These are the monopoles, these
So
are.
maybe he could
these
see a
are
lattice pole, but he.
These are worse,
These are worse.
these are like,
He sounded
drove
like.
by, right?
the-
yeah, so did I.
I
Only
don't
pole he
know.
could see was
Felicia
a
Watson
big
went in there,
beacon.
just
And then the
because
other
we were talking
pole
about it on
was
the phone,
someplace
she said it was
very
fine.
far away the other way, which sounded like a really long wire to me. So
Yeah.
maybe he's talking about really tall pole at
Yeah,
like
some of those.
Beacon and a very tall pole
On
someplace else.
Congress too, I saw another.
There's one on Congress, yeah, it's awful over there too.
Mhm.
Yep.
So, like,
It looks like
again,
it
in
looks
terms
exactly
of fair
for us.
market value, how did he come up with that again?
Yeah, and he said he went and researched online what people typically get for having like, you know, power lines and monopoles in their backyard. And he said he just used 25%. So he took 25% off the top. He gave, yeah, that's how he came up with this number.
Okay.
All right, so I'm just trying to understand, is where the old, whatever you call it, lattice, tower was, where is the new pole?
They're right next.
Right next to his property, right?
Well, they're right next to them, but it's,
I think
Yeah,
that
but you
must
give
have
but
been
it's
there
much
too.
bigger.
It's much bigger.
Now he's very tall.
Now you
Very
have
tall.
both of them.
But we don't have a picture of what it looked like prior to that.
He had pictures, but it wasn't clear where they were, what perspective they were.
That looked to me like they were right next
And he
to the
included a
other
map
one,
too.
but much taller. And-
Yeah.
Can we see the, using that, what do you call that
I
software?
thought he put pictures.
So let
Where's
me-
all his photos?
I
His
have-
photos are in there.
So let me ask you, if you.
He also had a map.
Let's say it was on the
Yeah,
market.
He
He
had
needs
like
to
a
see
map.
the
Let's say the
photo.
house was on the market.
He
and
he
you
had
put-
quite a few
Yeah,
put
photos.
client there.
This, everybody's up in arms over the monopoles.
What are you gonna sell them?
You try to sell a house with
What are you gonna sell them?
monopoles in full view, like, good luck,
So what are you gonna sell them?
good luck.
Well, all I'm saying is, it's been there.
No,
Not
no,
like
these
it's
are,
a new,
Not the
I know.
monopole.
yeah.
well, not the monopoles, right, but the lattice was there already, so is that really a new
I
condition?
think it's not that much as it is where, the location of it.
Talk to the people in Southport.
I think he
they'll
couldn't
tell you.
see it, and now he can,
is.
is the thing, like, he couldn't see those poles, so he probably couldn't see the lattice if they're on the poles, but now he can clearly see.
There it is.
Yeah, there it is. That's
There
pretty.
they are.
What if you can catch that?
And if you go down a little further, he put them on where his property is too. He put a red arrow on the map.
Hideous.
Yeah.
But look, there's the lattice. Is that where the
Where's
new
the
pole-
lattice? Up there?
Yeah, if you look in the picture to the right,
Wait, where's
or
the
top,
photo of
sorry,
it?
top,
I'm sorry?
The photo on the right had lattice on it?
no, top photo,
This one?
yeah.
What are you saying?
So the super tall towers he could see are those metal towers in the distance?
That's the old lattice.
On the tower,
Oh.
yeah.
You can just see it in the background.
Right.
But they replaced
And then-
that with a monopole.
They're replacing it, Mary.
No, but they put another pole, it sounded like.
They're getting rid of the lattice?
Right, they're removing the lattice.
Which was thin, so it kind of blended in.
Is that the lattice right there in that green, with the tree?
No, this is the tower here.
That's
with
the new
trees.
monopole.
It looks like they're dropping the,
Don't they sometimes put
Why can't
fake
they make them look
branches?
like trees?
Don't they have
Like,
some,
there's
the
one like
fake
that,
branches?
what is it?
On the Henry
And
Hudson.
they have the
Yes.
parkway, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it looks fake, but
That's
it
the
looks
model.
better.
When you first look at it, you don't even notice it.
exactly.
and they, it looks like they're that type of metal that's designed to rust.
Oh, yeah, it's already rusted,
That's what he said.
Yeah, so
like rusted on day one.
it's not,
I mean, I just feel like his value has gone down more. I mean,
Let's
if we
face
tried
it,
to sell that,
It
Yeah.
definitely has.
I won't sell it.
oh my God, I know, I wouldn't even
I
want the
wouldn't.
listing either.
I would say, get somebody else, I can't do this,
Yeah, so,
not equipped to
but
do it.
realize, I mean, you can see where the lines are, right? They start up here and they come all the way down, they go past Aquarium. So there's a lot of properties along this route,
Yep,
yeah,
and it goes further.
but they didn't come before the board.
yeah.
Right,
Goes here, it turns, goes all the way up.
yeah.
So, all these houses have that behind them.
Ugh,
Not to mention.
You have utility
the
pole
health-
line,
The health issues.
on their land.
I made sure that every
Attributed
single
to-
person.
well, that's why I
At
wouldn't
the
want it,
same-
because they just
I think
believe.
I tried to make sure that they were all
I don't
consistent.
know.
All that
with
juice
the
in
last
it?
Oh, yeah, you can't,
No
yeah,
way.
I'm not. I won't deal with that.
You guys hear that?
Right.
Mm-mm.
In the last reval, I looked at everybody along the power lines and the parkway and the turnpike to make sure that they were consistent
In their land adjustment.
in the location adjustment for.
so the issue is, he had them there they were there all along, but he says he couldn't see them, but now they're really close to his house and he can see them. That was his complaint, right?
The closest one was Lake Mohegan,
We couldn't see it,
and he couldn't see that,
right, so now, but now he can, because it's right next to his house.
right in his
So
back.
what's the percentage he's asking for?
25% off his current value is all we have. We don't, and it's not like he bought it in 2020.
50%, is that what this would be?
So yeah, he has a diagram of where the poles are on his property, on the 14th attachment. There's some red dots where the new poles are.
I mean, my feeling is it should be acknowledged in some way, because
Doesn't-
he's come forward, I just don't know,
That doesn't show where the old lattice was though.
No, 75-foot and a 20-foot
I
pole.
mean, if the 25% that he already has is on the PL topo,
I know.
then how do we add an additional
Yeah.
adjustment? Is it in that same line item, or is it?
Yeah,
That's
it
where
would
I
go
would
down
do
to,
it if you're going to.
0.7
Yeah, go in the
or
land, because you can't really go into the house for it, it's not really,
No, it doesn't do with the house,
No.
it's the land.
There's
The
the
land.
land.
let's see, what's
Yeah.
that, now, let's see.
Yeah, that's the diagram he provided.
He doesn't say where the existing lattice poles were though.
Well, I guess they weren't close enough to see, because he said he couldn't see them, so I guess he didn't put them
He
in.
said it was on the other side of Lake Mohegan,
But
that's
like,
why I'm so
But Lake
confused.
Mohegan.
It's really far away,
If,
By the way, did you notice on
Okay,
that
it's
there's
diagram?
no way there was, the next pole was Lake Mohegan.
Right,
Let me
right.
go back, let me scroll out.
But did you notice on that diagram where that road is? He's saying it's a gravel road. It's not just a dirt road, so now, they intend that to stay that way?
it is a gravel road. you're
Right, so now it's a road, it's not like, okay, so we dug it up and it'll fill in tomorrow morning.
Well, they had to probably put gravel there
So they could
because
drive in it, yeah.
for the big machinery.
But now they made what wasn't a road, which was a road a long time ago, but it was, now they put in gravel, I don't know if that makes a
There's him.
difference.
Yeah.
And he's got
That
people
arrow,
riding dirt
here's
bikes
Lake
and everything
Mohegan.
else in there now.
Yeah, so they definitely were poles.
They're not miles apart, so
Yeah, it wasn't that far.
I don't know, that's not correct what he was saying.
Well, it was under
Yeah,
oath,
the
so I
under-
believe that,
Well, listen, I can't imagine, again, not an engineer here, but I can't imagine that the, Eversource is going to, drastically change the, location of those, where the poles are compared to the, the existing lattice. Right, I'm just saying, I don't know if it's that different, I mean, it doesn't really show, I mean, unless you look at these pictures and there are pictures with, you can see the lattice going up the road, right, and then you can see them as monopoles, they're not,
Are they higher?
well,
I think they're
Yeah.
higher, yes, they're 100 feet now, aren't they?
They're more visible, I think.
Definitely.
Yeah, they're much higher.
I don't know about that. Power lines are higher. They're lifting the line.
And there's more, juice running
Right.
through them, so to me, that's a,
Okay,
So
so,
he's at 394 right now.
uh-huh,
Yep.
yeah. So what kind of house does he have? He has a,
Doesn't matter because we're looking at the land though.
yeah, it doesn't
It
really.
really doesn't matter because we're looking at the land.
well,
Yeah.
what the total value of the property?
Total value of the property, we're taking it from, we can't take it from the house, we have to take it from the land. He's not
But you have
saying
to
that,
take- You have to look,
you can look at it,
look at the
but,
whole thing and say, okay, what would this sell for, right? If we're gonna give him something off the land,
okay,
what
what
do you
is,
think is an appropriate price?
so what does it sell for?
He's got a raised
250.
ranch building, right? It
Doesn't look
is
too bad.
1,500 square feet, and it
It's real- I
was
think it's
built in
only-
1976.
I think it's only valued at 107,000, right?
107,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what would it sell for in?
And
Yeah, no,
land is
October
valued at
2020,
283.
right, 2019, that's right.
283.
I'm sorry?
And his land's at 283.
Well, it's
To
close
bring
to
him to the
300.
390, he's at 394, is that right?
I mean, nobody's gonna build, even if you said,
394.5.
even if you
He's at
said, it's like,
394.
who wants to raise a ranch like that? Let's knock it down and build a new house. Who's building a new house over there? Nobody.
No.
And he wants to go to 295, which is about 300,000. He wants 100,000 off.
What would happen if we just adjusted that PL topo from 25%
That's why.
and gave them a little more?
Yeah.
Actually, Russ is here to help us with the numbers. He's really not here to participate in the discussion.
That's
Let
what
us
I'm
keep that in
saying.
mind.
What happens to the numbers if we do what Helene just said?
Yep.
Well, what's that number gonna be? Or where do you wanna get to? What do you, what?
All right, then let's ask,
Do we wanna get to
the numbers, so.
295, or do we wanna go to 320?
No, I wanna go to 295,
Wait,
I'm
what?
okay with that.
He wants to go to 295?
Yeah.
That's what
He took 25% off, that's how he came up with his number. He
Okay.
didn't look at sales or anything, he just,
Well, I think we'd have a hard time finding sales,
I didn't look.
but we can try to look, but I don't think we're gonna come up with many that are,
Just
yeah.
decide what we're gonna do.
no.
No.
I can find them.
I know, I mean, with
For
the
the high
number,
tension.
with the number of homes, your power lines,
I
you
can
can't
find
come up
power
with
lines
sales?
for you.
I mean, you know,
Yeah, but you'd have to do it before and after, no? Yeah, I don't know.
None of that, remember, we don't do that anymore. The town they got their chance, now it's our chance.
I don't know, I would be just inclined to give a little bit more reduction on the 0.75.
Well, you wanna go to 0.6? Let's see
What does that
happens,
take us
right?
to 0.6? We went to 0.6.
Probably 15% down, right? Isn't it a direct percentage off the?
But I don't know.
I don't know what that means in
We
numbers.
were able to do this last year.
Yeah, but Russ can do it, he's
Just do it with a
faster at
calculator.
it.
Yeah,
5%.
0.75 is, 75% of what, and you wanna go to 60% or
Yeah.
whatever.
So,
So
Give
bring
me-
this 0.75 back up to,
what's the land value? And
The
I
land
divide by
value- Land value, well, the
at
assessment?
0.75 is
No.
283,800. Actually, you have to 281,300.
281,
300.
300,
Mm-hmm, and
And
then
then
divide by 0.75.
divided by 0.75,
That's
brings
gonna bring
it
it back.
to, before the reduction, is 375.
Now take 60%
Now
of
take
that.
0.6.
Exactly.
So that's 225.
So what'd you take off? You took
right,
off
he,
60,000.
Russ could do this.
I said, Russ can do this in 2 minutes, why are we,
What do you want?
She wanted to
What
see
do you
what
wanna
0.6
see?
would look
And I
like.
can show you what it
right?
looks like.
60%.
What is-
0.6
what does
versus
0.6 look like?
0.75.
Yeah. You gotta get that number below 3, nobody's paying over 3 for that.
I've already got 30 on that. Why is that down at 30?
That's the extra acreage.
Yeah, but we had, yeah, that's at 30 already.
I think you'd leave that
So we
alone,
already
like
had the excess at
$5,000.
30, but that's
Yeah.
a very small piece, so I'm gonna,
I would just
Let
leave
that
that.
go.
107, the house is 107.
so that drops into 338.2.
That's
I
not,
get
that's not low enough.
332, whatever.
That's
Well,
not
he's
low
got
enough.
that extra, you didn't add in that extra acre.
What do you think,
Oh, $5,000 for
I
that.
think
I'd like to see.
I think 338.
it's gotta be closer to 300.
I don't know if you can keep slashing it
But-
50%.
Well, because look at what it is. It's hard to believe that you could, 50% sounds like a lot, it is a lot. But look at what's there.
Well, what do you think it should sell for?
I think he's got the right numbers. Once you get to 3 and up, you got a problem with those lines again. I think anybody who thinks they can get that place for $295, $299 is thinking they're getting a bargain.
Okay.
2 useless acres with that, no, not useless, 2 acres with that next to it. You start to get to like 330, 340, 350, it's too much with that kind of condition on it.
25% of the existing land value, and then subtract that from the 394.
He bought the house, again, this is 2012, so he bought it at a high market, but he paid $528 for it.
But we have a different condition now.
No, the power lines were always
The
there.
power lines were there.
Were the poles, I guess we're missing the point. The lines were there. He agreed to buy the house for $500 with the lines there. That was his choice, okay? Now he doesn't like it because there's poles that he can see right near the house. I don't blame him. There has been a major change in the condition that affects that property.
There
So-
were lattice poles before.
Were they right next door to his house?
Probably
We
the
don't
same
know the
location.
location of the lattice poles.
Well, he says they weren't. He's under oath. Are we gonna call him a liar on
They
tape?
weren't at
Did he
Lake
say that?
Mohegan.
I didn't
were
say
not
they
at
were at Lake Mohegan.
He said they were not where the monopoles were.
Right, that's what he said.
That's what he said. He said they were, he said, I don't know if he meant Lake Mohegan as a neighborhood area,
just the- I don't
or
know
whether he
either.
meant the actual lake.
Right.
But he said beyond, in the Lake Mohegan,
I think
in
sometimes.
Lake Mohegan.
But
Or beyond
he's
Lake
not in the
Mohegan.
Let
same
me see, I might be able to pull up a
situation
better
as he
area
was
image.
before with the.
From
with the
2020.
old-
No, he's
Again,
not.
if
Yeah.
we're that, you know, we ask it, if we're questioning it, then we ask, then we gotta table this one and tell them, clarify your testimony.
323.
What?
Where the hell were they
323,
before?
Is that what we were talking about, 323?
No,
338.
no, three,
No.
338.
If you take it to a .6.
No, can't do that.
Yeah,
I can't do it.
I just,
I'm fine with it.
I'm fine with it.
And you guys don't have any sales?
Yeah,
of-
I,
You guys don't have any sales of homes near these,
Not
in your
yet.
office?
the Monopole,
They're
no,
new.
this is a whole new situation in town.
they're
But
different.
no, let's just say that had these
The power
kinds
line's
of
always
conditions.
been there, it's just what they
Right.
look like.
Yeah, but this is,
All along.
this is
It's
a
a whole
new,
new, it's a whole new thing, it's
new.
it's ugly,
monopole
it's
thing
right
is
on
It's
top
not
of you,
the
it's
same.
a 100 feet in the air. I
Southport
mean,
is.
So what do you think was worse, the monopole or the lattice tower?
well, it depends. The lattice tower seems further away, so it may be uglier, but it's further away, maybe I don't see it. Right next to my house, a 100-foot metal pole that's gonna rust, no, I don't think that's gonna look too good.
Well, yeah,
And I don't think I'm gonna like,
they're
I don't think I'm gonna
much
like the
more
fact there's gonna be
visible.
people riding dirt bikes next door, because there's gonna be an issue with that when I start having to pop some tires. Because I don't think I would want that next to me either. People live there for a reason. It's far out. They live there because it's quiet. It offers something that in town doesn't. Now it's ruined. Until the grass grows again, and maybe you can't ride your bike in there anymore.
Yeah, it was a dirt road and now it's gravel.
And it's wider, I think. I don't think it was that wide before. They had to make it wider, but the trucks
It
through.
is wide,
Yeah.
you're right.
And he's stuck with it. There's nothing he could do about it. I mean, if they had the right to do it, they did it, and you're stuck with it. There's no fighting it.
And what was it assessed at, 395?
I don't know, what
Yeah,
was it?
394.
394.
So, yeah, 394.
And I'll say,
I mean, honestly, I think, I'm personally, 332 I think that's a significant
let me ask you,
reduction.
if you were going to...
I don't have data saying it's definitely 300.
If you had a buyer that could spend $332 or $340, would you recommend that they buy that house?
I wouldn't recommend they go anywhere in that neighborhood.
No, I would-
You
yeah,
can't
I would
find
never bring
anything
a buyer
for
to
it.
that
But what
ever.
if that house you're saying it's worth that? Okay, let's put a for sale sign, let's say it's worth, let's put a price on it of $340. Who's got a client they're gonna bring there and say, this is a great buy, why don't you take this? I don't think so.
I don't know. I feel like
But
I'm just trying to acknowledge a reduction
Mhm.
because it sounds like it's,
I know, I don't know that
but I don't know.
we're gonna be able to get it any lower, so.
I think I think it should be what he asked for because of what it is. However, other people don't think so because it doesn't affect their way of life. So, let's just say, they put it in the 320s. I think that would be better. Maybe he'll sell for that, I don't think so, but I think we start to get close to 340,
Yeah, I mean,
it's
we
too much
go
money.
back to if he's unhappy with an in part, he can't,
You know, I'm thinking about, I'm not
It's
liking...
gonna come back in 2 years anyway. I mean, the revals, he's only getting a
Yeah.
reduction for, 1 year, right, for 2 years.
But if we're doing it on the land, it would
Yeah, but
be
they
that
can
number,
do
a
everything in the
different number.
reval, they can probably go back through and change all the codes.
Okay, so if we leave him the way it is, then we jack up everything in 2 years, his percentage is gonna be way higher than if we give him the discount that he deserves now.
They don't do it by percentage increase when they do the reval.
Okay, then why is everybody can do
You
it
redo
yourself?
the land, and then the building
So
stays
that
pretty
three
stable.
thirty something number, we're getting there by changing that number from 7.
We're changing the
point 0.75 to 0.6.
What if we made it 0.5? What does that come to?
How about 0.55?
How about 0.5? Can we see it before we decide? You do this constantly. It's like being in an auction. The minute somebody says 350, you want 355. 340, 345.
So,
Have we ever done?
Have we ever heard
have we
anybody
ever
say, how about
done-
330?
I mean, his extra acreage is at 0.3.
Well, it should be.
Oh,
That's
like
the way
where they
it's
get a
done.
lake in their yard, or, I don't know.
$300,700.
That's too
That
much.
sounds good to me.
that's 5, but,
That's at
That's over
0.5.
300. It's more than what he wanted.
and what's 5.5? Just,
Okay, let's
That's
5.5. Let's see
five.
5.5.
That's 5.5.
Sorry, Russ, let's go 5.5.
I'm sorry?
Like an auction.
what's
Let's hear
5.5?
5.5.
Make everybody happy.
Let's hear every number, then we decide. I think that's a good idea.
It's gonna split the difference.
Okay, what is it?
Between 338 and 300, it's gonna be
It's gonna be
318.
Yes, that's.
19.5?
Yep,
319.5.
Oh, that's what I said.
yep.
And that includes the extra acreage.
That's
No.
a new total,
That's a
putting
new
the,
total.
That's a new total.
I didn't change the 30,
Okay.
The point
it's
three
like
nine.
$2,500.
Okay.
It's very
I like
small,
that.
you know.
You're just gonna have to use that precedent elsewhere then.
Yeah,
If someone else.
if someone else complains. But they would be right to get it then. Okay, I don't care, I prefer the
I'd rather be the
295,
0.6.
but
I'm more comfortable with that, but.
I prefer the 295, but, you know, you have to be compromising, so.
Who's making a motion, not me?
Okay, I make a motion that we, grant in part to, what was the number was, 319?
319.5,
319.5, that's the appraised or the assessed?
that's the appraised.
Appraised value for the land on that, on that
No,
property.
that's the
No,
total.
That's the total, that's the total value, okay, even better, that's the total, okay. All in favor?
Oh, and then he just
Wait.
says whatever.
Then he works
Okay.
it.
But if we're gonna have to do this for everyone then.
But that's the point.
Keep going.
Oh, keep going, all opposed, all in favor?
I'm opposed.
3, opposed? 2. Peter and Kathleen are opposed,
Motion
motion
passes
passes.
3-2 to grant in part.
It's grant in part, that's what it says, grant in part.
So I'm gonna be clear here. You know, things are getting a little revved up here. If that's the case, then I'm not willing to hear any more of these appeals, and let's just call it a night and come back in better moods tomorrow, all right?
Okay.
Okay, well, wait a minute though. Is everybody in favor, or you can just leave, Peter,
Yeah,
and just
because
finish?
I said let's go
She
to
said
7
7.
anyway. We're past 7.
Okay, I see we have the new abbreviated Board of Assessment Appeals session. And I can't believe it, I've never seen anything like this.
We're good, you know, we've got some real estate to do tomorrow night, so.
Whatever, do what you want, I don't really care.
It's gonna take, I mean, it's good to get one
You're
out.
gonna do what you want
right?
anyway, what
I
does it
think
matter
we're
to me?
tired. I wasn't mentally prepared to do them, so.
But we got this one done,
I
you were
appreciate
mentally,
it. I knew this
you were
one-
mentally prepared for the worst, probably one of the worst ones we had, but for an easy one, we're not prepared.
in here that are good.
I don't see it that way.
Any better. So,
I don't see it that way.
first of all, why don't we, I'll make a motion to adjourn, so we can adjourn and stop the recording.
Yeah.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye. It is
Four
7:10
in
PM.
favor, 1 opposed.
You don't want to adjourn?
No, I don't want to
Okay.
adjourn, I'm here to work.
Okay,
I'm tired of working on everybody's
Meeting
little
adjourned.
schedule of what they
Meeting
feel like doing
adjourned
on any given day.
7 PM, 7:10 PM.
I thought the hours of the board were 5